It was just another crisp autumn day at Windsor Castle, but the air felt charged. A foreign dignitary arrived. Cameras clicked, and inside the castle's ancient walls, something shifted. The heir to the throne stood not behind his father, but beside him, welcoming, hosting, leading. It was Prince William showing a face of authority. It was Windsor being used not just as residence, but as stage. And though the monarch still reigned, for many watching, it felt as though the future was quietly stepping forward. They say that power, in monarchies, is often less about announcements than about presence, less about proclamations than about projection, less about ceremonial moment and more about steady moments accumulating. And in recent weeks, that accumulation has become impossible to ignore. Welcome to Crownverse, where every handshake, setting, and shadow whispers a deeper story. If you're drawn to the subtler shifts of royal life, how the monarchy evolves behind gilt curtains, please subscribe now and stay with us as we trace the contoured path of a crown in transition. Prince William's involvement in that Windsor meeting was not accidental. He did not appear merely as host. He appeared as host in the king's stead. The guest was no minor figure, the Crown Prince of Kuwait, a sovereign heir with weight in diplomatic circles. The meeting was held not in a peripheral venue, but at Windsor Castle itself, a royal locus of centuries. William's role was not ceremonial padding. He held the room. He welcomed, guided, conversed. Cameras recorded it. The palace permitted the footage. The choice to share was as deliberate as the invitation. Diplomatic protocol would traditionally allocate such meetings to a monarch or head of state. In recent years, monarchs often delegate, but rarely so visibly. Yet William took the lead. He chaired parts of the agenda. He engaged in formal greeting. He held the dignity of his position, not yet king, but clearly more than prince in waiting. This moment did not come out of nowhere. Over time, perhaps years, William's public role has expanded. His charitable foundation, his environmental initiatives, his presence in Commonwealth functions, all have been stepping stones. But now the pace feels different. What was gradual now feels urgent. What was tentative now feels confident. Charles, even while battling health challenges, holds the Constitution in his name, but his public-facing presence has had to recede. Official engagements are fewer. Speeches are measured. Visits are limited. Yet the monarchy cannot stop being monarchy. The tides of public expectation, state diplomacy, institutional continuity, they do not pause. In that gap, someone must stand front. In that gap, William stands. Windsor Castle plays a role deeper than wallpaper. It is a statement. It is continuity. It is authority made stone. That the meeting was hosted at Windsor, not Buckingham, not Clarence, not a foreign embassy, signals legitimacy. It frames William's diplomacy not as substitution, but as extension. He is not merely filling in. He is performing roles with a sovereign's backdrop. Windsor reminds the world that whatever the title, this is royal ground, and this man is acting on it. And behind the camera, Catherine matters. Though her health has demanded pauses, her symbolic power has only sharpened. She is not simply the wife of the heir. She is queen in training. Her absence invites speculation. Her return will be watched. When she reappears, graceful, composed, engaged, she will illuminate the future throne. The public has sent its messages. They admire her calm presence, her empathy, her steadiness. She is not distant from this process. She is, in many ways, its emotional backbone. And in that Windsor setting, then, a narrative was being glimpsed, not of abdication, but of preparation, not of collapse, but continuity. This is how monarchies reimagine themselves, not by rupture, but through slow, deliberate realignment. William engages, Catherine endures, Windsor becomes stage, the crown subtly leans forward. But this narrative demands scrutiny. There has been no formal passing of the crown, no public decree, no legal or constitutional statement. Charles remains king. The machinery of monarchy, Privy Council, Parliament, Church, has not signaled transition. William's steps are symbolic, not sovereign. He is not yet king. But the difference lies in optics. The shift is not in title, it is in posture, in who moves first, in who holds the gaze, in who is permitted to step into roles once reserved for the sovereign. With each diplomatic meeting, each meeting filmed and shared, each symbolic duty assumed, William draws closer to the shape of kingship. Whether by design or inevitability, he is being placed. Imagine a foreign delegation waiting at a palace gate. The flag flutters. The doors open. A man in suit, not robe, steps forward. He greets them. He shows them halls. He guides them through protocol that has long been the monarch's. He walks corridors speaking as heir, thinking like sovereign. That is not abdication, but it is rehearsal. And for Catherine, the stakes are immense. Her return will be a signal. It will not just be health recovered, but purpose renewed. When she steps into engagements again, people will see that the monarchy is not brittle. It is capable of transition. That the throne is not brittle. It is capable of renewal. She too must carry the burden of history. The royal institution in Britain is no longer unquestioned. Scrutiny is constant. The public watches not just behavior, but intention. The monarchy must appear stable while evolving, traditional while modernizing. When a royal woman stands at the side of the heir, she offers continuity of character, personality, identity. And now, consider how the palace orchestrates narrative. They release footage. They curate settings. They permit images of William in Windsor, greeting dignitaries not as gesture, but as statement. Each photo published, each smile shared, is proof that a script is unfolding. Royal watchers take note. After that Windsor meeting, commentary emerged, not simply about diplomacy, but about process. Some saw it as proof that William is ready. Others warned of leaps in optics too soon. But consensus leans toward significance. This was not just a diplomatic occasion, it was a rehearsal of monarchy. Beyond that meeting, the accumulation of events matters. William's visits to Commonwealth nations, his addresses on climate, his diplomatic talks, these are pieces in a mosaic. If a monarch must be seen, then the heir must be seen preparing to be. If a queen must be poised, then the princess must carry presence now. If a dynasty must endure, it must show continuity before disruption. Of course, skeptics point out limits. William does not yet command the legal power of the king. He cannot legislate. He cannot dissolve governments. He cannot pass laws. That remains Charles's domain. Nor can a symbolic moment hide structural inertia. The institution resists sudden change. The public, tradition, history, they all demand care. But in monarchy, the weight of moments is heavy. That Windsor meeting, filmed, shared, discussed, might become a marker. Historians may one day note it as a turning point, none declared, but evident in retrospect. The moment when the heir leaves waiting behind him, and steps into responsibility ahead of him. If this gentle shift continues, if more diplomatic hosting passes to William, if Catherine returns with renewed force, if Windsor hosts become more frequent, if Charles recedes further,